Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers, welcome to the newcomers. I hope you're going to like what you see, and if so, please do be part of my journey by subscribing, by hitting those thumbs up. It does help to circulate the video and to be recognized, and of course grow the channel. Thank you so much for all your feedback and your comments, especially everybody in the groups. I am very appreciative and humbled by all of your support. Thank you so much. We are going to create part 2 of this master bedroom rug. Now, on the first part, I had a specific lady asking me about these threads, the course of them, and why using a 5.5 or a 6 millimeter hook. Okay, these are 100% cotton threads. These are Portugal threads. They're different than the UK, they're different than Australia. They're just different, basically, from a lot of the countries. Similar to these threads are the Brazilian threads. They make similar, which even thicker than these ones. Now, when I refer myself to certain videos and say, this is a 4-ply, this is a 6-ply, this is an 8-ply, I am talking about it's how many threads there are on these threads for creation. So I cut a piece here today because I wanted to make sure that you understood what I was talking about, especially for you, Miss Donna. I hope I can get to you. I hope you get to see this. I did leave a message for you to come into the second part and look at it. So this is the thread that I'm using. Now, if I maybe move it from here and see better here on the black. If I open up all of these threads from this cord, as you can see, I have 8 threads. So these are all threads in one. That's why I say 8 plies. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You have so many in one. Okay? And that's why we must and should use the 5.5 best 6-ply for this type of thickness, because as you can see, if I'm to use a smaller one, like for a 4-ply, you can see that it is too small. It's just going to pull, as soon as I pull in, it's going to pull through the strings, right? And that's an issue, like huge, because as I was doing my side poof stitch, because I didn't have a bigger needle, I was having a very hard time trying to get my stitches in without pulling all the threads together. So when I refer myself, best example I can give you, especially for the people in the US, is Aunt Lydia number 3. Putting 2 of those together, it's going to give you more or less the same thickness as I have here, because I know it's hard to see on camera, the same thickness as I have on my 8. Okay, even though Aunt Lydia number 3 is 3 thread per each, would give you a total of 6, right? But putting them together, it's because of the make, each country has a different make on them, it will give you the same thickness as my 8. And I'm going to give you another example. A lot of times I use a 4. My 4 is identical, the same size as Aunt Lydia number 3, even though my number is different. It's up 1 number because it's a 4, but it's the same thickness as Aunt Lydia. So I hope I can I've explained this well enough. It's the only way really I can try to explain to you so you can have an idea more or less on the thickness on this thread, because it is quite thick. Now, I've also had a comment in the groups. One comment, one lady specifically, she's in the healthcare system, and put out a warning that people should not be creating this type of rug because they might slip and hurt their hips, break their hips, and so on and so forth. Which I totally agree with her up until a certain point, of course, and she is right. If you're going to create such rugs like this to be put to use and you're using it with yarn or wool, obviously you have no weight on them. Of course they're going to slip, that's for sure. As soon as you put your foot, especially if it's on top of ceramic or wood floor, and yet definitely the wool or yarn is going to, depending upon the yarn too, right? It's going to slip. Now, we're talking about thread. Thread is not light. Thread, especially thick thread like this, it is very, very heavy. It's a heavy, it's a heavy pattern. I'm not even finished, right? This, once you set it down, I mean, once you set it down on the ground, it's not feather. It's extremely heavy. It's not going to move anywhere because there's a lot of thread here. There's a lot of weight here. So, but I'm appreciative of her feedback and warning people out. So we want to make sure that if we're creating this for usage, you got to use the proper thread for these things in order not to slip, obviously, and get hurt. We wouldn't want that, okay? And of course, I did not post it on the post of the groups, that you have to use the yarn, the cotton, not the yarns, and this, and not the warning signs, because these are creations that I'm doing. I'm not a store seller. I'm not a fabricant of these rugs. I'm just a creator and teaching people how to create, basically. So it's not like I felt necessary that I have to put out warnings on this, but it is a good idea for certain people to understand that when they are creating certain things, they have to be careful on how they're going to use it. So I appreciate that very much also. Any other questions, any other feedbacks, please don't hesitate. I am here to answer your questions any way I possibly can. So again, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of you that have been following me from the start. And I thank you so much and very appreciative for the new ones that are just coming in and signing up to be part of this journey. I am very grateful and really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And we are going to get started on this. So as you know, this is an 8 ply. We're going to finish it up. 100% cotton, so it's very thick and heavy. And best would be needle number 6 millimeters for this, but if you don't have, like I don't, and it's very hard to find it here on the island, I'd have to order out. I'm using the 5.5, which I have to be careful because sometimes it pulls through the threads. But anyway, we try to work around as much as we can. And we're going to get started on this. And I do have another rug that I just finished creating today. As soon as I'm done with this tutorial, I'm going to get on it right with the next rug. I hope you're going to enjoy that one too. So thank you. Let's get started, everybody. So we're going to start row 10, counting from the first cream here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to start row 10, and I'm using my black. And this row is going to be very simple to do because it's all single crochets all the way around. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch knot, and you can start anywhere with the single crochet. I'm just going to start here right from the beginning of my groups, and we're going to go inside of each of the space between the poof and create 2 single crochets on each space. Try to hide our thread while we're at it as much and best we can. So basically, very simple. Just to go in between, in between each space here of the poofs. Another thing I wanted to mention, if you don't want it as large, you just cut down on the rows right from the beginning. If you want it longer, which I'm most probably going to do the tutorial on the longer piece, so it's going to be more than 1 meter, then you know that you have to extend more rows up front in the middle in order to have it longer, okay? But somebody had asked me if I can do the longer version, so I most probably will be doing the longer version, which will be perfect to be in front, to be put in front of the bed, in front of the bed. So we're going to do just very simple 2 single crochet throughout in the middle of all the poof throughout the whole row. So I'll meet you at the end. I also want to mention that when we are arriving to our groups of 5 on the edges, we're going to add 3 inside of the space so it doesn't pull up too much on the edges, okay? So I was almost forgetting that detail. So I'm almost here at the end of my edge. So basically where I think it's like the last one at the edge here, which would be this one here, I'm going to put 3 single crochets inside just to make sure that it doesn't pull too much. And I've done the same thing to this one here, and I've done it here and here. So you have 5 of the 5 groups. You have to add 5 times 3 single crochet on the last space of the same direction, okay? And you do the same thing on the other side. And another thing I want to remind you, for people that are not using thread because for some reason they can't get a hold of the thicker thread, you could always buy the back piece to attach onto your rug. They sell the back pieces to be attached to these rugs so it does not slip on the floor. So you can look them up online or at your local stores and take it from there and buy the back piece to put it if you're creating with acrylic yarn or things like that. Of course, it's very light. So they have the back pieces to these rugs. Okay. So I've come back to my cream color. I just finished my row. We're going to start here at the edge of the group of 5. And we are going to line it up more or less where we have our stitch, okay? Because we need to create all these stitches. Now, the last one here, we finished doing on the cream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to do, so this one's 11, we're going to do 12, okay? We're going to do 12 double crochets, 1 per space. So we're going to slip stitch it in, try to hide our thread. That would be considered 1 with the single. And 2. Next space. We're going to grab back loops only, okay? Doesn't matter if you close in the first one like that, it's not really going to show. So we're going to grab back loops. So you have your 2, and you still have to keep adding at the end the extra one. So now you got your 3rd, you have your 4th. Try to hide your thread as you go. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult when it's a thick thread like that, but it has to be done. And then whatever's showing, you can always cut the extra off because most of it already has been hidden inside of the little loops back here. So we're grabbing back loops only on the pattern. To be careful when I'm pulling too much at the same time. My threads, they come apart. That's what happens when you're not using the proper needle for it, but I don't have, so I have to do what I can with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and on the same one, 12. Okay, so from the start, as you can see here, probably have to lift the camera a little bit more because I don't want you to be missing out here. Okay, so now we have 12 because we had one on the same space as that one. I better add it properly because I think I grabbed a thread there. When the threads are not grabbed properly, this is what happens. No, I have to go back a few more. Whoa. And this gets heavy too, so. Okay. That's better. So on your 11th one, you got to add one more, becomes your 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more on the same space. And then you do your one chain separation. You'd skip one. And you go right into the next one. You can see it pretty much lines up. And you redo your 12 double crochets on your 11th one, 2 together. So back loops only. That's if you want to have this effect. I mean, if you want to use the whole loops, go ahead, but your black won't stand out as much. So 1, 2, 3. I have to grab the thread here because my threads are not properly grabbed. That's the thing when you don't have the proper needle, it just like, and they don't know when they are receiving it in the island. So I'm just like stuck with it, trying to create these as best as I can without pulling so much on the thread, but sometimes it's almost like impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th, and one more on the same space. So 12. Okay. As you can see, they pretty much line up together. So you do the same thing to the other groups, and then I'll meet you at the end of this group here to tell you what we're doing next, because we're changing up the stitch a bit. Okay. Okay, you guys, so we pretty much finished doing the 12 double crochets on the 5 on the edges. We're going to do 1 chain, we're going to skip 1, we're going into the next one and do the double crochet. Now we're going to start doing groups of 3 double crochet exactly like we have on here. So next space double crochet and next space double crochet, 1 chain, skip 1, and redo the groups of 3 double crochet, 1 per space, using back loops only. And we're going to do that until we arrive almost at the edge on this side, almost at the edge here. Okay, and then we have to do the 12 double crochets again on this side where the 5 designs of groups there. So 1 chain, skip 1, back loops only, and create your double crochet. Now we're going to end up with 13 groups of 3. So if you're short, take out a bit, put 2 together and skip 1 and continue to do the group. If you have too much, take out a bit and put it together, 2 together again. So work your way if you're not matching the exact total, okay? But as long as you have 13 on this side and 13 on the other side. So don't forget, whatever we did here on this side of the edge, we have to do it on the other side. I'll meet you at the end and we'll go through the count together. So I am on my 11th one, and I know that I still have to create 2 more. So I wouldn't have enough space to start my 12 group here. So I'm going to add 2 together so I can get the right size going on the 12 group. 1 chain, so you skip 1. So this would be my 12 group. I keep changing hooks, just so I can relax my fingers a bit because I've been pulling so much at it. So I put 2 there together. You could actually even put 3 together. It doesn't matter as long as you fit in. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11. I must have miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So 1 chain, get you a little bit closer. So I have 12. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going into this one. And I'm going to add 2 here. And I should be just fine with the 13. Okay, so we're pretty much at the edge here, as you can see. So skip 1, going to the next one. Let's keep pulling on my thread. And we're going to add the 12 double crochet, doing 2 at the end on the 11th space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. I'm going to add one more in here because I want them to be leveled up the same way. 8, 9, 10, 11, and I should be just perfect now, and 12. Okay, so that lines it up. Doesn't matter if you put two together, it all works out at the end. And now we do the regular routine. One chain and then skip one, and everything else should fall into place now. And if it doesn't, like I said, you add two on the same place just to get measured up, because you want it to be leveled in the same way. You know, you don't want it to be twisted. The top part here, you want it to level out with the bottom part, if you know what I mean. Okay, so you want to level it. So you do what you need to do, even if you have to add a few more in the same space so you can have the same detail coming down. So I'll meet you at the end. Make sure you have 13 groups of 3 on the other side. You can measure it more or less on the same side. How you did on here, you do the same thing on the other side. I'll meet you at the end of it. Okay, so we closed off. We're starting the groups again, and we're going to do the same thing like we did on these rows here. We're going to do 2 more rows exactly the same way. Okay, so we're always going to add 2 on the last one. So this time we're going to have 13 instead of 12 double crochet, and we're going to repeat what we have here. We're going to repeat here. So do your 13 with 1 chain separation in between the groups, and I'll meet you right after the edge here so I can show you exactly what we are doing. Okay, good. And the last one, we're adding 2 together. Okay, so now we have 2 together. I'm going to do 1 chain and do the same thing to the other ones. And when we get here, where we're going to start the pattern here, we're going to do the, I'll meet you there with that one. Okay. So I finished doing the groups, 1 chain, and we're only going to do 1 here. 1 double crochet, exactly like we did here. And then the next row will have the 3 in here. Okay. 1 chain, come inside of the square and create our groups of 3, same way as we've been doing before, like that. So we have this row and the next row, the same color, and then we're changing into black, and the stitch is completely different. So we're going to do this row and 1 more, remembering that when you get here you have to do your 3, 1 on top and 2 inside, exactly like we have here. Okay, as you see right here, 1 on top and 2 double crochet inside, and then proceed with 1 separation. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 row, and we have the 13th row, and then we cut our thread, and we're proceeding with black with a different stitch. Okay, I'll meet you at the end of the 13th row. Okay, everyone, we're going to start with the black, and we're going to start from the edge where the groups are. So this row is going to be simple. We're going to use back loops, and we're going to do groups of 5 double crochet with 1 chain separation all the way around. So do your first single, 2 chain, try to cover your thread, and use your back loops only so you can have that beautiful effect up front. So you go on each space and create the double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's counting with the first single and two chain, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do 1 chain. We're going to skip 1, and we're going into the next one, and we're going to create again 5 groups. The group of 5 double crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1 chain. Skip 1, going to the next one, and do your 5 double crochets. So this row is very simple. I think once that I have the proper needle, it will be much easier for me to work. 1 chain, skip 1, and create your 5 double crochets again. So we're going to do this all the way around the same way. Even on these sides will be the same process of the groups of 5 double crochet, 1 per space, and 1 chain separation. Not forgetting to grab the back loops only, so you can have this nice effect up front. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again 1 chain, skip 1, going to the next one, and proceed the same way all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. And then I'm cutting my thread, and I'm going in with the salmon, because then we're going to create the shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we're pretty much done this row. If you come to the end and you needed to skip that 1, but it gives you 2 stitch left, don't worry about it. You can just give it a 2 chain. Not going to change anything on the pattern. Sometimes it, the stitches, it's the way they fall in, and sometimes you can't get it perfectly, but this should be good enough. Anyway, cut your thread. We're going to go into the salmon color. Okay, you guys, so with the salmon, we're going to go right on the first square. I think there's too much sun coming through my window. Hold on. Okay, so at the edge where we have the 5 groups, right on the edge, we're going to go on our first square here, and we're going to slip stitch, go up 2, and we're going to do groups of 5 double crochet inside of the space squares here. I think there's too much clarity still coming in. You have to close the window in order not to look too bright on camera. Two, 4, 5. So we have 5 double crochets. That's with the single and 2 chain going up. We're going to do 1, 2 chain, and we're going into the next square and do groups of 5 double crochet again. So this whole round will be the same way all the way around. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 chain, and go into the next square and proceed again with your group of 5 double crochet. So continue yours, I'll continue mine, and I'll meet you at the end of this. I'm cutting the thread and I'm going back into the black. So now 2 chain again, and we go into the square here. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay everyone, so we finished doing the seashells all the way around. Now we're going to start where the edge is, as usual, and we're going to do single crochets over grabbing back loops only, sorry to mention that, and try to hide your yarn, your thread, whatever you're using. So we're doing single crochets, grabbing back loops only. Now you have to pay attention to this row because it's a little bit tricky. Just a little bit, not by much. You might have to rewind a few times to understand the procedure on this row. Well, just at the beginning, of course. Okay, so single crochet in all of the seashells on the back loops. Now, here's where you have to pay attention. We're going to count 1, 2. On your second double crochet, we are going to go in and we're going to do a double crochet. We're sort of going to do like an X. Now, from this right side on the second one, we're going to go in and we're going to do another double crochet. I call this the walking back, and I know it's black, it's kind of hard, but it's going to be a zig, it's going to be an X, okay? And then you go into your first one of the seashell, back loops only, and again, single crochet. So this whole row is going to be about this. We're going to do the single crochet again. You get to your last one here. You're going to come to your second double crochet, and you're going to do a double crochet. you're going to come into, we're going to walk backwards. We're going to come into the second one here from the right and do a double crochet. I know it's kind of hard to see on camera. Maybe if I can bring it closer where the white is, you'll see it. Okay. Again, back loop on the next seashell, singles. Come to the last double crochet on the seashell, and again we're going to grab the second one on the left, double crochet. We're going to go in and do a double crochet. We're going to walk backwards into the second one here on the right, and do a double crochet. And then proceed again with your normal single on the back loops on the seashell. And we're going to do this all the way around. So it's simple, but still a little bit touchy. So you just have to make sure that you get it into the right double crochet from the previous rows. Go into your second one, all the way through in, and double crochet. We're going to do the walk backwards, go into the second one on the right, and double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of the row. This whole row will be done the same way. So I finished doing all of my singles with the double crochet coming and grabbing the second double crochet here, and then walking back and grabbing the second one here, doing a double crochet, and continue with singles on the outside loops. So now I'm going to go in with my burgundy, and we're going to do a row again of seashells. So very simple with this row, nothing to it, just seashell all the way around. So we're going to start from the beginning here of the edge. So where we have the middle of that cross stitch, double crochet, to a little bit closer. So we have the middle here. Make sure you go right through the middle, and we're going to do our 5 double crochet. So you single, slip stitch single, go up 2 chain, come back in again the same space, and do your 5 double crochet. Of course, I have very thick thread, so it's a little bit more harder to get it in because of the space is very tight, but it gives it a nice style to the rug. Becomes very beautiful. So whatever excess thread you cannot hide, we'll just cut it off. So we have 4 and 1 more. I think this is the slowest I ever worked a pattern due to the thickness of the thread. So anyway, but it's been very pleasurable working with it, though. I mean, I enjoyed very much creating this pattern. It's something different out of my my league, but it's all about the challenges, right? And I love challenges. I love creating different things. Okay, so now we've done the 5 double crochet, and we are going to go right on the center. So you're going to count 1, 2 on your third space. You're going to do a single like that, and again you're going to come into the middle and create your 5 double crochets again. So this whole row is going to be like that, nothing to it, and we only have one more, and the next row is only single crochets all the way around, just with a little twist at one point. Well, I'll show you, and we're pretty much done with this rug. So 4 and 5. So you're going to have it this way. Then again, you'd count 1, 2 on your third. You would do a single crochet, and then come into the center of the other crisscross here and do your 5 double crochets. So nothing to it. I mean, the hardest was already done. Well, nothing hard about it. It's just more like concentration, right? That sometimes we lose it somewhere. I have started to, I did create another rug, and I seem to like it. I don't know yet if I'll be doing the tutorial on it, but I'll see. I'll show you at the end once I'm done this, and you can let me know what you think about it. And the other rug I created, it's perfect for masculine room because of the colors, but also perfect for the bathroom, perfect for the kitchen sink, or like where the stove is at. So I'll show you at the end, and you can tell me your feedback on it. Oops. So 1 and 2. So you skip 1, 2 on the third one. I'm talking about 1, 2. So you skip. Oh, I guess I'm off camera. Sorry. So when I'm talking about 1, 2, you skip the first one, you skip the second one, and you're going to the third one. Sometimes I just forget that I'm off camera and I'm not looking. So you're going to the center of the space here of the X, and you create your 5 double crochet. And then you count 1, 2, you go into the third one with single. So this is what it's going to look like, people. How gorgeous is that? Okay, and we have one more row, which is all singles, but it's going to take a little twist here in the middle. It's going to be done closed in with a single, but 3D. Okay, so we can have a nice little effect on it, and then we're pretty much done with the pattern. So continue yours and I'll continue mine. We're going to cut the thread, and I'm going into the black to close it out. Be right back after my row is done. Okay, everyone, so we are on our last row. I'm going to go in with the black, finish it off. And we're pretty much done. So we're going to do the slip stitch single. Now this row is very simple. We're going to grab back loops, obviously, and we're going to do single crochets all the way through. This whole row. Try to hide your thread, your yarn, whatever you're working with. And then the leftover you can just cut it up. Tuck it in and give it a few knots. Okay, so back loops. Now, the only difference we're going to have here, you see where we have the single crochet in the middle? We're going to do a single but a 3D, okay? So we're going to come in by the side, out the other side. We're going to grab our thread, and we're going to single crochet. And we're going to go right into the first back loop here on the shell and do singles on the back loops, one per space. Try to make sure that this is turned. I don't have that much space here, it's crazy. Okay, so it gives that 3D effect on the little single here, which makes it very nice. Okay, so we are at the last single crochet here on the seashell. Again, we'd come through the side into the back and out to the front. Pull through for a single and close it in. Then you go into your first one. Now make sure, because we are pulling in, it sort of grabs a lot from the first double crochet here. So you got to make sure you grab the first one, because you're supposed to have 5 singles, exactly like you have 5 double crochets. Okay, one more time. We're going to go through the side, into the back, and into the front. Okay, and then single, pull your thread, close it in a single. Go into your first back loop on the first double crochet from the seashell and create your singles all the way through. So this is the last row, and this is what you have to do to complete your last row. Get to the end, cut your thread, do your knots, tuck it in, and congratulations, you're all done with this beautiful rug that I've created and designed myself. And you should be proud of yourself for doing it. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and creating these beautiful pieces with me. And thank you for the beautiful comments you guys have left me in the groups. And thank you so much for the new subscribers, because there was quite a bit that came in from the new groups that I've added myself to. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. It helps to grow the channel and to have my work recognized worldwide. So thank you so much. And please don't hesitate. Any questions, email me or just leave a comment on the comment section. If you are part of the groups, you can always message me on Messenger. I will get back to you on it for sure. So again, one more time, in through the side to the back and into the side to the front. And we're going to close it in with single. Make sure you come and grab your back loop on the first, because it's sort of pulled, so it sort of hides a bit behind that 3D single, okay? And you do your 5 single crochets. So you know that if you're only doing 4, you're missing 1 single. You have to go back and grab it. So your seashell can look normal, or else it's not going to look too normal. So like I was saying, and please don't forget to also give a thumbs up on the video, because it does help a lot to circulate the video worldwide. It's very important for the channel. And I hope you're going to create these pieces if you're part of the group. So I hope you're going to post it up. And I hope you are 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I missed one. And I hope you're going to tag me along and mention me as the creator. You know, it does help the channel, again, like I said. So, and it is very important for us creators, us that have channels, you know, to be recognized that way. That's the only way we really can be recognized, is by the sharing and people tagging, bringing out our name around, so it can reach as many people as possible into our channel. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to finish mine. I am going to display this once I'm finished at the end with a little video, so stay tuned for the pictures and video. And yes, I almost forgot, I need to show you my new creation. Okay, so this is the new one that I just created. I know that there's not that much room, but I will put a picture up at the end. And so you can see I used 2 colors on it, and it's very hard to see it from here, but you will see the picture up after I post the video on the tutorial that we just finished making. But this is another rug that I will probably do the tutorial on. So thank you so much, everybody, again, and please give it those thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and thank you so much for your kind words and for your messages on the groups. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and until next time, stay tuned for the video and display pictures at the end as soon as I'm done with my row. Take care, everybody, and please be safe. God bless. Bye-bye.